Hello and welcome to the start of our third video. Now if you remember at the end of the last video we'd just finished our second turn and we were waiting for turn 3 to happen and we'd get on with getting on reunifying the rest of our province. We're starting a little bit before our turn 3. At the end of the turn what's happened is the orcs have recruited a new lord. So they created themselves Stitch Up Spear Chucker, so he seems to be a goblin war boss, but they're trying to flee, and so the battle is in the underway. And the thing with underway battles is, if you fight them, if you lose, you're dead. You can't flee from an underway battle, so whoever's on the losing side of this is going to not come out. So if something happened and I were to lose this, my entire army would be wiped out, my lord would be injured. That's not great. It does mean this guy's pinned. It also means that I can deal with him in his turn, and I don't have to deal with him in my turn, so that's going to help us quite a bit. I'm going to fight the battle because it's our first underway battle, so you can see what's going to happen. But normally with something this one, there'd be no point. It's going to be a very, very brief fight. So, slightly different tactics in this one because of how simple it's going to be. I'm going to group my melee troops together, and I'm going to set my catapults up. And if you have a look at the catapults, you can see they can only reach not all the way down, so that's not good news. And even pushing them forward, I'm not going to reach that far down, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to put my catapults right at the front, see how far that goes. Yeah, that only just carries into a little bit of their territory. So we're going to group up crossbowmen as well, and we're going to put them right on the line down there. Lords and hammers, they're really not going to get involved. We'll move them, but there's not a lot we can do. Now, there's a few things I can do over here though. Now, I can't set anyone up behind them, but I could set people up quite close to them. So, what I'm going to do is, let's mouse over that lot. No, they really don't have much range at all. I'm going to set my miners up.
For the ancestors!
As far forward as I can. And I'm going to try and act as bait. Okay. Let's start the battle. Right, now this is what happens, you see. They've got absolutely no interest in moving, and I can't force them to without moving that forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my dwarves to come up here. Quick mode. I'm not going to make the dwarves march because I want them to fight at the other end. So you can see the range on my catapults. If I move my catapults that far forward, suddenly those orcs are going to start to move. So times 3 speed, so we can see that my army's moving up the field. across to the side. Try and create some flanks. Suddenly, because I brought crossbowmen up and in range, that's forced the battle to start properly. From that point of view, we may as well get on with it. So send them up.
For the colours anchor! Charge! Covenant! Go! Attack! Minus! Surface, you're fighting in the tunnels. Now the tunnels that you're fighting in are the ancient tunnels built by the Dwarves and invaded by the Orcs, and some of this goes back to why they hate each other so much. They've been fighting in these tunnels for centuries. So yeah, 7 Dwarves lost. They only see 4 lost there, so wow. I guess that was because their lord got among my Dwarves. But you can see they're completely wiped out. If you lose a battle down here, it's all or nothing, you're all gone. I've also found a talisman, a Dragonbane gem, which will give me fire resistance. It's not particularly great, but it's better than nothing. Captives. Apparently I captured 8 people. I'm not going to release any captives, I want that army gone. So... enemy killed in battle, so you can see he's gone there. Don't need to worry about him anymore. Talisman gained. So, it's now the start of turn 3. Good!
I've got another point for another win.
First.
So, that's always a nice bonus. So, I'm going to keep pushing down that hard to hit. So, if we go and have a look at our objectives then, our chapter objectives. Our first one, 3 different settlements. We've currently not taken any since the mission was issued, so that's fine. So we've got a little bit of room to play with. Now, if you look at our province, you can see the province consists of a number of settlements. We've got 2 out of the 3 here. They'll be between 2 and 4, usually. There are advantages to having a whole province. So, I want to get hold of Mt Squighorn. That's what I want to do. And I want to do that sooner rather than later. You can see that the buildings we constructed last turn have been finished, so we've got a new barracks. And you can see that the farm that we built last turn has been finished, so we've got a new farm as well. I can see Mt Squighorn from here. And I
I can see their garrison. Again, it's another fairly pitiful garrison. And having chased away that army that has been floating around here, I don't have to deal with them either. So
Throw banners!
we're going to
Let's march!
another quick battle here, and we're going to sort this out. And you can actually see that because of the end of the turn, we've actually healed a lot of our losses. There's only one unit of warriors that's not at full strength, and that's because of that battle we've just fought. Those kills that he managed to get, some of them have healed after the battle, but the rest haven't. So we're going to go down here. You can see that the Lord's movement range is full at the moment, so we're going to go down there and we're going to take this settlement.
Drag them!
This is going to be a totally one-sided battle. I'm not really wanting to focus on the battles at the moment, so I'm going to auto-resolve this and we'll carry on. So let's see if this decisive victory. So already 31 losses. You can see that's higher than what we've been getting in the ones we've been fighting ourselves. So you know, making the computer resolve the battle does result in a higher casualty rate. Enemy captured 65. What do I want to do? Now again, I'm trying to unify this province, and to unify it, 400 gold is not worth the problems with public order, so we're just going to occupy.
Very well.
We've gone up another level, so we've opened up some more miners. So that's another regiment of renown we can use if we want. And this is what we were after. The province is secured. So that Silver Road province, we've got complete control of that now, and we can issue commandments. Also, another territory, more tax money, off we go. So,
What?
as always, another battle victory and another skill point. So, I'm going to make him harder to hit. So his defence is going to be relatively high. You know, melee defence of 69, especially early on in the game. That's pretty good. I've used up all of my move, so I don't need to worry about him anymore. I can focus on what I want to do in the rest of this zone. So, I'm going to come back to this and have a look at the building browser. Now, to decide what we're going to build, we have to understand what kind of situation we're in. So let's have a look around. We've got territories down here to the south, Carag Dawn and Black Crag. Carag Dawn is also at war with us. That's not good news. We don't know what's down here. Now, I've played this before, so I know that there is another settlement down here, and it's another orc settlement. And to the north of us as well, we've also got more bloody spears. So we've got our current enemies are to our north and south. We've also got more orcs down in the rest of the Badlands, so we've got lots of enemies to our south, but we've got some dwarves on the flank, so that's not all bad. You can make allies with those. The problem I tend to find with my dwarven allies is that they're very good at not being very helpful, and they're very good at starting fights that I don't want to be in just yet. So yeah, not the most ideal of situations, to be honest, but you do need them if you want to make any money. Now, given the way that dwarves and orcs work, now if this was a human area with mountains on either side, or an undead area with mountains on either side, this would be a great little bottleneck. The humans and undead would have to march through here, and they can't get in and they can't get out. Unfortunately, I'm not fighting humans and undead, I'm fighting orcs, and orcs, like the dwarves, can use the underway, so I can't really block this off. They can skip underneath and they can come in here, but it also means they can bypass provinces. I can't force them to come through there. They could try and come out here and go straight back for the Pillars of Grungy. In the same way, if they launch an attack from Carag Dawn, they can come up and attack at the Pillars of Grungy, so that's really not very helpful. It does make defending a bit of a pain at this point in the game. There are more dwarves over here. There's another set of dwarves around this area, and there's another set of dwarves around this area. The problem is they are potentially going to end up in a fight with a whole bunch of orcs, so I can either march north and help them. If I do that, I'll have two relatively stable dwarven empires on my northern flank, and that'll protect me from all sorts of shenanigans later on in the campaign. But if I do that, I end up ignoring the main orc faction, so I'm fighting the bloody spears, which are orcs and goblins. The main orc faction is the greenskins. And if I march off up north, I'm going to let the greenskins have much more say down here. If I march off down south, it just depends what happens in the north. Sometimes the dwarves will hold their own. Other times you end up with a couple of fairly strong orc factions up there, so it's a bit tricky. What I'm going to do though, I already know I need to be upgrading the Pillars of Grungy, because I want to upgrade my mustering hall there. If I upgrade the Pillars of Grungy, I'm going to get more building spots. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to go and build in Mt Squighorn. What I'm looking for really are these watch rooms. These will allow me to protect my empire and send my armies marching off to do other things while I focus on what I'm doing. Now, we talked about growth being very important. We also talked about money being very important. I still need to focus on growth. I need to upgrade both of these settlements. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another farm down. So we're going to have two farms now, and then I'm going to come back and look at what I can build in my main hall. Now, I've got a fair bit of gold at the minute, so I can build, first of all, I can build my siege workshop, so I can reinforce my armies with more artillery, and I'm going to build a granary. That's going to increase my growth even further, and increase my casualty replenishment even further. Plus, that doesn't need a new slot, that's just an improvement on what's already there. So we're going to build in there. Currently it reckons it's going to be another 2 turns until I can upgrade anywhere, which it is, unfortunately. I'm not going to have that finished in time to give me the growth point immediately, so even though I am building more farms, it's still going to be another 2 turns. So, that said, my army is all dealt with. My economy is all dealt with. I'm going to have a look at my commandments. So, options are I can reduce the building cost. It's not going to affect anything this turn. It takes a turn for commandment to come in place. So, if I go down that route, I'm going to end up having to delay all my construction for another turn. Don't really want to do that one. Growth. Now, we talked about growth being important, so that's an option. Tax rate, that'll increase my money. And at the moment, my taxes are a large proportion of my money, so you can see that my taxes are 419. So that would give me about another 20 or so gold each turn. It's not the biggest amount, is the tax rate one. Or I can use this one to reduce corruption and increase public order. Public order's not really a problem yet. It's at -7 in my province, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. But it will get better, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go with growth on there as well. Okay, so you can see that little icon there says we've changed our commandment, so from next turn we'll start seeing more growth, and that's about as effective as having an extra farm, so that one's not bad. Okay, the only thing that remains to be decided is, do we stick with one army, or do we start building our second army? Now, given that we've got enemies to our north and our south, that we really need to be in 2 places at once, I'm going to go for it, as long as there's a decent lord available. So, come here, this is where you can recruit lords and heroes. I don't really have any hero slots yet, I've not got the buildings for them, but I can always have another lord.
So let's see who we've got available. We've got a Dwarf Lord, so he's a fighter. And you can see what traits they've got. He's charismatic, so that gives him a bigger leadership area. But this guy is arrogant, more leadership, but public order's bad. Don't really want that. Now I've got some Rune Lords available. Now, Rune Lords are the higher level of the Dwarf Rune Priests, and they are effectively the closest the Dwarves get to magic users. The Dwarves don't really do magic, they use runes, and the thing with runes is they're very reliable, they can't blow up in your face, you don't have to rely on the winds of magic to see whether they work or not. They're not quite as powerful, but they're kind of controlled in a sort of religious priest type way, kind of combined with technology, which is what the Rune Lords do. Now he can affect enemy leadership, so that's very good. Or again, another bonus that does the same thing. Do I want a distinguished scar to reduce my enemy leadership, or do I want someone who's a bit misshapen to reduce their leadership? And then you can see as we started off, there were two other legendary lords. I can use them as the dwarves. I've not fulfilled the conditions to recruit them just yet, but I might be able to. You can see that the Lord by themselves have got a high recruitment cost and then a fairly high upkeep. So that's the problem with having a second army. It also increases the upkeep percentage of all the units as well. It'll give me a warning about that. There we are. Each additional Lord increases your total army upkeep by 1%. So recruiting someone will increase my upkeep by 202. That's on top of that, so it's going to cost me about 390 a turn just to have another army on the board. Then on top of that there's all the units I have to recruit from. But we do need to start moving, and we really need to move in two directions at once. So for the time being, I'm not going to worry about magic. Enemy magic users, they are about, but they're going to be fairly low level. The same way my Lord has gone up relatively quickly through the levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if they're going as quickly as me at level 5, they're not going to have a huge amount of magical power for me to worry about. So I'm going to go with the Lord. Don't want the guy who's arrogant, he's going to make the public order worse, so let's go with a charismatic guy. Let's recruit.
Summon me if you dare.
So I have a new level 1 Lord on the board, and he is able to see there is a orc army marching in the underway down here. I don't know what he's got with him, but he's there, so that's not what I want to see. Now, I'm fairly safe. If I look at my garrison, my main garrison is huge. It's full of longbeards, hammerers, miners, quarrelers, cannons. If he attacks my main city, he's going to get stomped on. No problem. Pillars of Grungy, it's not as good. Garrison's actually quite weak. It's 2 units of warriors, 3 units of miners. That might be a bit of a problem. But not the end of the world. I've got plenty of armies nearby, and before he can get up there, I'll probably be able to intercept him. He won't get there in 1 turn, and I can send my army marching back. So I'm not worried about that. What could be going on is he could be about to cause some problems to my dwarves over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to recruit some units and give him an army to use. So let's start with a couple of units of warriors.
I suppose.
I don't really want any miners for this guy. I don't need a huge number of miners in my combined forces. My Lord has got some. I don't need everyone having them. So I'm not going to recruit any miners over here. I am going to fill out my line of 3 units of dwarf warriors though. So that'll do for now. Just to show you how the Regiments of Renown work, so you can see this is the first one that I unlocked, and this is the second one that I unlocked. When you recruit one of these regiments, they appear in your army straight away,
You don't have to wait a turn for them to be built, and they're more powerful than their usual units. So this unit here, the Warriors of Dragonfire Pass, they would be better than a normal unit of warriors. They cost more to look after as well, so you can see my normal Dwarf Warriors had cost 90 per turn to keep going. Those Warriors of Dragonfire Pass are going to cost 133. But you can also see, if you look at the normal Dwarves with their attack of 22 and their defence of 40, and a weapon strength of 28, we've got the same weapon strength here, but their attack is 31, not 22. Their defence is 50, not 40. They are substantially better. Speed's no different. Their leadership's better as well, so they're going to stick around. Armour's no different. But yeah, they're going to be much happier. So that's good for them. The other thing that you can see though is on my normal dwarves, armoured and shielded, defence against large foes. These guys have got anti-infantry, so if I do have to get into the fighting, these guys have got a bonus on there. So that's part of our appeal. I don't want them in this guy's army though. What I need for him really is some ranged units to fight back with. That's coming, so my siege workshop will allow me to have some grudge throwers built, and when I upgrade this barracks, that'll give me the ability to get some crossbowmen as well. So don't have an army yet, but we're working on that. We've put everything into growth that we can, so we'll be able to upgrade that town and that barracks relatively soon. But you can see doing that, that's already put my income down. That's away from that 2,500 requirement, and it's going to come down again when these units appear, and more when I get quarrelers and artillery to back it up. That's why that one is so hard, and why I'm not going to worry about it. That's going to bring us to the end of turn 3, and hopefully it's going to bring us to the end of our one-turn videos. We'll see what happens next time, but you've seen the underway, you've seen some of the battles. Anything that can be auto-resolved, we can auto-resolve our way through, and we can talk about the campaign a little bit more from now on. Hope you've enjoyed it, and join us for the next one.